You're listening to the Angels and Awakening podcast, and I'm your host, Julie Jancis. I have the gift of connecting with your angels and loved ones on the other side. The intention of every podcast episode and every service that I offer is to help you heal, to help you raise your vibration, and to give you the tools you need to help others. Why? Because when you take responsibility for your own healing and your own joy, and you use what you've learned to serve others, you're helping to shift the vibration on Earth to a place of more peace. And isn't that what it's all about? If you feel called to work with me, we have many services available to you. We offer a new online e-course with a new topic every month. These help you dive deeper on your spiritual journey. We also offer an Angel Reiki certification training program. We call it the Angel School. It's held every other month in person and twice a year online. Here, you'll become a certified Angel Reiki master teacher and develop your spiritual gifts. Twice a month, we offer a live online group Reiki healing session. You just call into a webinar number and listen as I guide you through a healing session with the angels. You can also book a one-on-one angel message reading with me. You help keep this podcast going, friends, when you book one or more of these services on my website, www.jancis.com. That's my last name.com. Stay tuned at the end of this podcast to hear all about the freebies we offer as well, and how you can win a free session. Hello, friends. Today we have a brand new angel story from a book by Joan Wester Anderson. I am so very grateful to the publisher of this book, Loyola Press in Chicago, Illinois, who's kindly given us permission to share this story from her book. In the show notes, you'll find a link to buy Joan's book on Amazon and a link to the publishing house. Speaking of publishing angel stories, we're putting together a book of your angel stories to present to a publisher. If you have an angel story that you'd like to share, whether it's a person on earth who came out of nowhere to help you in your time of need, or a presence that you felt from beyond, or your angels on the other side sending you signs that they're at peace and helping you from heaven, or even an animal angel story, we'd love to share your stories because they inspire hope, faith, and more peace in this world. Please write out those stories in as much detail as possible and email them to me at juliejancis@gmail.com. Do you like reading the introductions and prologues to books? I love them. They have some of the most interesting pieces of information. And I love Joan Wester Anderson's books. She always has a prologue or an introduction at the beginning where she brings through an angel story of her own. And today I am sharing one of her angel stories from the prologue of the book, Where Miracles Happen, True Stories of Heavenly Encounters. Joan writes, shortly after our family bought a house in Chicago's west suburbs in September of 1971, I met Lynn Gould. She appeared at the door one morning accompanied by several small sons to welcome us to the neighborhood. I invited her in, but she took one look at the boxes marked Fragile China, still stacked on my floors, and declined, which endeared her to me right away. The Goulds lived directly behind us, our deep yards separated by a tall hedge with an opening in it, which we used as a gate. I loved all the neighbors, but Lynn was special. Immediately we sensed a bond and focused ourselves getting past surface chatter and delving more deeply into one another's feelings and beliefs. Few topics were out of bounds for us, but spirituality was a particular favorite. We discovered that although we were both Catholic, our faith attitudes differed. Lynn seemed relaxed, confident in God's tender care and willingness to get personally involved in her daily life. Me, as one philosopher has said, the longest distance anyone travels is the 12 inches from the head to the heart. I tended to be more dutiful, a bit scrupulous, and hard on myself. Although I had never thought of God as harsh or frightening, it was difficult to believe that His love for me was truly unconditional. As for miracles, they happened to saints, not ordinary people like me. We had lived in our house for just a few weeks when autumn leaves began falling. Actually, they rained down, thick, covering 1/4 acre. One afternoon when the children were in school, I went into the yard to rake. The warm, sunlit day was delightful, but I made little headway. At the end of an hour, I had stuffed 6 bags, but there were still several huge piles of leaves waiting, and half the yard remained untouched. Home ownership was losing its charm. I leaned on the rake for a moment, pushing the hair back from my eyes, and the world seemed to stop. There were no rings on my left hand. My diamond engagement ring and wedding band, not removed since our marriage, were gone. Just then, Lynn stepped through the hole in the hedge. Although she was at least 50 feet from me, she must have seen the shock on my face. "What's the matter?" she called. "My rings, they're missing." I could barely speak. I had lost a little weight during our move. They must have slipped off somehow. But where? When? Lynn waded across the lawn to me. "When was the last time you saw them?" she asked. Frantically, I searched my memory, recalling all the small, ordinary things I'd done that day. Making breakfast for the children, loading the washing machine. How often we glance at our hands without really seeing them. But I was sure I would have noticed missing my rings during earlier tasks. "They must have fallen off out here," I said, surveying the landscape with a sinking heart. How could we find anything in all that debris? I would never see the rings again. And not only were they uninsured, they were loved and irreplaceable. Tears filled my eyes. Lynn was more practical. "Let's pray about it," she said. And she knelt down right in the middle of the leaves. And because she had hold of my hand, so did I. "God," Lynn began without preamble, "we've got a problem here." Briefly, she outlined the situation. Despite my agitation, I felt a little embarrassed. What if a neighbor looked out and saw us praying in public? Yet I was fascinated too. Lynn was talking to God with ease and familiarity, as if He was her real father, someone who cared about her so much that He would be interested in anything she told Him. Well, why not, I thought suddenly. I'm a parent, and there's nothing my children could need that I wouldn't provide. If I was truly His child, wouldn't it work the same way? Lynn was finishing her discussion. "We need a miracle, God. Please let us find the rings." She sat back on her heels, wordlessly, surveying the yard. Not for a moment did I assume God would actually do anything about her request, but Lynn had been dear to stand by. As I watched, however, her eyes were traveling across the orange and yellow piles of leaves. Slowly she stood up and walked past several deep mounds. When she reached one on the other side of the yard, she stopped, bent over, plunged her hand into it, and then straightened. "Here they are," she said, looking into her palm. "Here are your rings." I probably screamed before I went running across to her, but both rings were there, unmistakably mine. We looked at each other, our faces wreathed in grin. "How did you?" I hardly knew what to ask. She laughed. "I didn't. God did it. I just kind of knew where to look." "But that's impossible." "Not really," she pointed out. "We asked for a miracle, didn't we?" Something great seemed to tremble in the air, something awesome and wondrous. Was this what it meant to trust? Like 2 little girls, we had approached our father, placed a broken toy in his lap, and asked with complete assurance, at least on Lynn's part, "Daddy, fix it." Why should I have been surprised when he did? Friends, if you feel called to work with me, do it. In March, we've got the Angel Reiki School on March 7th and 8th in Naperville, Illinois. Here you'll become a certified Reiki master teacher and learn how to develop your unique spiritual gifts. Also, March 2nd through 20th is our live e-course called Releasing Negative Thoughts and Training the Egoic Mind. It's all about how the ego tries to sabotage you, but when you're aware of this, you can stop it so that your egoic mind doesn't block your progress or your soul's path. Taking this course will also help you hear your intuition more. Book this e-course, our previous How to Talk to Angels e-course, or our Manifestation e-course, all on my website. Also, you can always book a one-on-one session with me for some healing and loving messages from your spirit team. Friends, when you book one or more of these services, it funds this podcast. Thank you so much for your support and keeping this show going. Stay tuned at the end of this podcast to hear all about the freebies we offer as well. My friends, there are a lot of people out there who will tell you that angels only help when it comes to the big things. But I need you to know that that is so not true. And not only is it not true, it is very hurtful to every single soul out there, because people who hear this then check themselves before they go to God with any request. And what I need you to know, your angel message for today, is that no request is too small. If you're a mom and you need to get a close parking spot to get in and out of a store faster, ask. If you are a student and you need help on a test, study in advance, but ask for help, ask for support, ask for the angels to help you remember. If you need to give a big presentation at work and you're nervous, you need to get up and speak in front of people. You need to get more clients into your business. Ask, ask, ask. Ask God to help. If you have a child that's going through something and you know that you can't be there every moment of every day to guide them and protect them, ask God to put an angel who is perfect for that situation on it to help, and then know with complete faith and confidence that God has got your back, that the universe has got your back, and that they are helping you no matter what. My friends, this life is not perfect. It is not meant to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. It's not going to be perfect 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. But here is the deal. God gave us free will. We have free will here and now. And what does that mean? We have the free will choice to ask God for help or not. And you could say, well, Julie, what if I just ask God for help one time and just say, God, for the rest of my life, you have access to help me in every way, shape, or form that I need it. Bypass my free will and just do that my whole life, God. That's fine, and you can definitely do it, but I want you to think about it this way. Do that and then pray when other things come up, because what's happening is as different things come up in your life, it is energy, and you have to work through the energy of that situation as well. So let's say there is a situation where you lost your wedding rings or you lost your car keys, just like Joan did in this story. The energy of that loss, of that anxiety, is now sitting in your auric field, and you have to do something to process and work your way through that energy. And do your past prayers hold up of God, bypass my free will and help me every single time? Yes, but you're still stuck with this cloud of anxiety energy within your auric field that's working its way closer to your body if you don't work through it. So say that initial prayer in your life, God help me every time, but then when you go through something, in order to work through the energy of it in that moment, what you need to do is pray again. Pray, God, this is what's going on. This is what I need your help with. Please send the angel who would be perfect to help me find my keys or to help me find my wedding ring. and then sit back with complete confidence and faith and hold the energy now, not of the anxiety, but of it being found, that you are like, yes, God, thank you so much for helping me find this. I'm wearing my wedding ring now. I've got my keys in my hand. I can go where I want to go. Whatever it is that you need to find, picture yourself as having found it, being so excited about that. And that, my friend, releases the energy of fear that you were holding on earlier to. And when you release that fear, what you were asking for can now come through to you more easily. I hope that you can see that visually, that energy. I hope that you can feel that. And I hope that you can use that as a tool in your life. A big thanks again to author Joan Wester Anderson and Loyola Press for allowing us to share this angel story from her book. View the show notes for a link to all of Joan's angel books on Amazon. Beautiful souls, we have so many freebies to help serve you, your family, and friends. Want a weekly message from your angels emailed to you? Sign up on my website to receive a weekly message of love, hope, and healing from the angels. Do you have a prayer request? Go to the homepage of my website and submit your prayer request so that our team of prayer warriors can be praying for you daily. Want to learn more about the angels and energy healing? Subscribe to my YouTube channel called Julie Jancis to learn more about the angels, energy healing techniques, and so much more. One of the biggest things we hear from our listeners is that they have no one to talk to about their spiritual awakening. We created a private Facebook group called the Angels and Awakening Podcast Tribe so that you could connect with others like you and know that you're not alone. So be sure to join this group on Facebook to get the support you need. Want a free session? We plan to give away over 240 free sessions with students in the Angel School per year. To win a free session, subscribe and rate this podcast 5 stars. Then write a positive review and email us a screenshot. That way we know who to contact when you win. Want to share your uplifting angel story on the podcast? Because we love sharing them. Please write down your angel story and email it to us. Don't forget, be an angel and share this podcast with someone who needs it. See you back here next time for another episode of the Angels and Awakening podcast.